did. They're the champions in our league. They're a very good team.
Deep three from Matt Williams.
I think we're playing, our best basketball when it matters the most.
Here is Ojale and throws it down.
A tournament situation with tournament pressure, realizing that if you lose, you go home is different.
Welcome to Champ Week. And today it's the semifinals of the 2017 Frontier Communications American Championships. This afternoon, Game 1, top seed SMU, winners of 14 in a row, and the 4 seed UCF for the right to play in tomorrow's championship game. In Game 2, Cincinnati, and here they come again, the UConn Huskies, maybe another magical run for the right to go to the title. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hartford. Great to have you with us today. I'm Dave O'Brien, my partner, Doris Burke. Andy Katz joining us in just a couple of moments. And, Doris, in the semifinals today, we have matchups we expected and also a lot of intrigue in the second one.
SMU and Cincinnati have been the best teams in conference all year. They're both projected about 5 seeds, so they're locks for the tournament. I also believe both are good enough to get to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. But in that second game, UConn has had Cincinnati's number, and every year this tournament has existed, UConn has knocked Cincy out. I would assume they're looking for a little revenge.
Let's talk about defense in Game 1. And Taco Fall, the Defensive Player of the Year, one of the premier shot blockers in the country.
7'6", over an 8-foot wingspan. So how do you deal with this guy as a shot blocker and a rim protector? Look at the extension this guy is able to give. This is a team that only gives up 19 points in the paint because of his presence. And guess what? You better send an extra body to him on the offensive end, or he'll dunk on your head. How big is he? Well, guess what? They've got 2 plans, SMU, one when he's on the floor and one when he's off. But they have got to contend with the Player of the Year, Shemi Ojale, and one of the best defenses in the country. This is a team that gives up less than 40% shooting. They are balanced. This is a quality coached, very good SMU team.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups now for Game 1, brought to you by Can-Am. For UCF, B.J. Taylor gets 17 points a game. Talked about Williams. He can really hit the 3 for the Knights. For SMU, Ben Moore and Sterling Brown are motivated seniors on a team that lost 1 time in conference play all season long. And fascinating to watch the opening tip with Taco Fall, because UCF has won it 27 out of 31 times. And look at this, tipped into the backcourt, and SMU wins it.
Quick off his feet is Shemi Ojale. Wow.
My question was, how did they lose 4 times the opening tip?
I'd say it's a difficult thing probably for the officials to throw it up. He's such an unusual presence.
I think it has to be a bit of a challenge for our officials. Landis Poole, Darren George, and Lee Cassell. Here's Sterling Brown on the dribble. He can hit the 3-point shot. Moore fires. And just in front of the shot clock, and that one out of play. Tim Jankovic, what a job he has done at SMU this year. Heck of a job his first year, taking over for Larry Brown after 4 years as Larry's assistant. Just named the American Conference Coach of the Year.
24-1 since December 2nd. They have been dynamite.
UCF coming in under Johnny Dawkins at 21-10. They made easy work of the 5-seed Memphis here yesterday to get to the semifinals. Ball crashing the glass. He does get a lot of rebounds, 10 rebounds a game. It's an outstanding rebounding team.
Well, you've got 2 of the best rebounding teams, both above this little baseline shot right there. You've got an SMU team plus 13 almost on the glass, and UCF plus 9. So Tim Jankovic said to us probably the biggest key of the game this afternoon is who does a better job on the window.
Look at how good they are up against the glass. On the drive, little step back by Banyard. He'll knock it in. Nick Banyard, a 6'8" senior. So UCF on top 2-0. The Orlando-based school, the number 4 seed. They're not typically a great shooting team. Only about 43%, 34% from the 3-point line. Johnny Dawkins now in his first year for UCF, former Duke All-American and Player of the Year. He took Stanford to the Sweet 16 just a few years ago and off to a strong start at his new school.
Talked to him this morning about the administration at UCF. He said what the president has done in 25-year tenure has been extraordinary. The transformation of the university. He said they are giving us everything we need for success as a basketball program.
including a 7'6" center.
That'll help.
Johnny, when he was in the NBA, he played with 7'7" Manute Bol and 7'6" Sean Bradley. So he knows how to coach a big man. Ogilvy, 36 points in the quarterfinals, a career high. As it turned out, Doris, they needed all of it.
Well, it's one thing to have that kind of game. It's an entirely different thing to have that kind of game down the stretch when East Carolina made 11 of 19 threes in the second half.
Banyard picking up his first foul here this afternoon in our opening semifinal. And in game number 2, this building is going to come alive. It did last night with the UConn Huskies, one of their home courts. They're expecting maybe 10,000 here for the second game. Can the Huskies continue another magical run in this tournament? They have been amazing again as more slams on the brakes. They'll swing it for Milton, and he can't bury the three. Shake Milton, it's 43% out there. On the run, Williams. And Matt Williams, who wears number 12 for the Knights, he can get really, really hot, really stick those three-pointers. 109
threes. He obliterates both the American Conference and UCF single-season records. He can flat shoot you into a big-time lead.
Remember now, the Mustangs have won 14 in a row and 24 of their last 25 games. They're one of the hottest teams in the country coming into this semifinal. Moore gives it up for Foster, another three-point threat. Shot clock down to 9 for the Mustangs. Here's a touch for Ogilvy. He's 6'7". Batted away, wins it back. Shot clock down to 2. On the baseline, Moore, and there goes the shot clock and a violation.
Tell you, UCF works so hard on defensive positioning and guarding the actions. And what we're going to see from them is a lot of switching action, UCF. They call it their blue. And communication will be critical for them.
This is their highest win total for the Knights since the 2012-13 season. Only the third time in the last decade they've won as many as 21 games, so quite a turnaround. But a little bit sloppy there and tossed out a play back over to SMU. We talked about their defense.
Well, Johnny Dawkins, obviously a guy who, when he was a player, could have been in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. Look at the field goal percentage defense. This is #1 in the country to only give up 60 points per game, and that is an outstanding three-point field goal percentage defense. And Brown, was he on the line or was that a three?
Well, they called that a three-pointer. Right now giving him 2 points on the board. Underneath, nice move there by B.J. Taylor to knock in 2. Second team All-American Conference sophomore. Milton trying to penetrate. Back out for Moore. Straight on, he can't stick it. Big fight for the rebound and more hustle from SMU as Moore pulled it away. Here's Milton. That one flipped almost to midcourt. Just getting started here in the first of our 2 semifinals. SMU, the #1 seed, 17-1 in conference play. Brown to negotiate. And a wild pass out of play as they turn it over. They turn it over for the second time. We'll take a timeout. SMU with a 6-4 lead in the early moments of semifinal #1.
Athletic Conference.
Hello?
Almost didn't recognize you. Sweet new ride.
Thanks.
But you get a promotion? Wait, are you our boss now?
You're the boss. I'm gonna need more vacation days.
Oh, can I call in sick today?
Guys, I don't have that kind of power, but I can park this car with my mind.
Now you're just showing off.
Lease the first ever all-wheel drive Infiniti QX30 crossover at your local Infiniti retailer.
Great training leads to excellent customer service. That's the mission of Walmart Academy. Here, associates learn through classroom sessions, one-on-one instruction, and valuable in-store experiences. Soon, 200 Walmart Academy locations will train 140,000 associates annually. It's all part of our commitment to take care of the people who take care of you. People like Lee.
I'll take a lemonade.
That'll be $2.37.
Your sign says $1.
Yeah, but that doesn't include fees and added taxes.
Fees and added taxes?
They're all listed on your bill.
Are you kidding me?
There's the line access fee, the standing on my lawn fee, the fresh fruit high cost fee, the poison control surcharge.
Don't pay more for taxes and fees. With T-Mobile One, taxes and fees are now included. For a limited time, get 2 lines of unlimited data for $100. All unlimited, all in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Frontier Communications, official sponsor of the American Athletic Conference.
SMU so far 0 for 4 inside the three-point line as we go to Andy Katz. Andy, is a very big reason for that.
All right, thank you, Dave. I want to pick up on your point that you're just talking about with Johnny Dawkins playing with Manute Bol, the late Manute Bol, and Sean Bradley during his pro career. And I asked him just actually before tip-off about it, and he says, first of all, what I try to tell Taco is try to manipulate and sort of mimic the way Manute Bol blocked shots and the way Sean Bradley was an offensive player, to try to get him to be much more of a well-balanced player. And he did say that, first of all, it does allow him to gamble so much more defensively when you've got that kind of rim protector back on the back line. And also, I want to add one more point. I talked to the officials before the game. They said they have to watch the way they officiate with Taco Fall, because he can just simply grab it over someone and he may not be fouling anyone. So you got to just make sure that it is all clean and not call something on him when it's not warranted.
Well, first of all, he's come such a long way. One of the first things Johnny Dawkins did with Taco Fall was say, listen, we need to improve your stamina. So he got with the strength and conditioning coach. You can play him for far longer stretches. Obviously, his ability to be able to move in the midst of a defensive possession, and then this end, right? He's got to get stronger. Obviously, the base is going to get stronger over time. But, you know, listen, if he stops bringing the basketball down, which he did entirely too much yesterday as he gets fouled there. You know, you're taking a 7'6" guy who, if he holds the ball above his shoulders, nobody's going to be able to do anything but foul him.
Right.
Too many times yesterday and over the course of this season, on the catch, he brings it down, Dave. And so you go from a guy who's 7'6" and basically not guardable to somebody who's probably closer to 6'2".
Sure. He takes his own significant advantage away by doing that. His mom, by the way, is 5'9". His dad is 6 feet. So what happened? You know, 7'6", 290 pounds. And you mentioned the need to get stronger as he steps out of the game. He's been eating 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day to try and pack on a little more size. Not advisable for everybody.
Certainly not for you and I.
Let's not try that at home. SMU with a 6-5 lead. And their 4 losses. SMU's Achilles heel was giving up the three-point shot. They allowed 12 three-pointers against them, at least in every loss. East Carolina hit 13 and came back from a big deficit from 24 down and almost stole one against them, almost really shocked them. In the end, they won it 81-77. Taylor on a tough drive, lost it out of play off his own leg.
Well, you've got 2 guards who obviously can get by, and one of the things that Central Florida talked to its team about was pressuring Shake Milton. You're talking about a guy, remember, he played the 2 last year, Dave, because Nick Moore, the 2-time American Conference Player of the Year, manned that point guard position so successfully. So let's see how much pressure they put on Shake when he's trying to be a playmaker off the dribble.
Brown from the corner, a little bit too strong. Big rebound by Chad Brown, the 6'9" sophomore. He's the man in the middle for the Knights with Taco Fall on the bench, as he is right now. SMU by a point early. Both teams a little bit shaky on the offensive end. Here's Davis. 11 to get off a shot, pounding inside and blocked. That'll trigger the outlet. Ojale coming out 36 points in the quarterfinals. Too strong by Foster. SMU 2 for 9. Shooting the basketball early with 3 turnovers. Jim Jankovich, head coach for SMU, was kind of kidding about it, about blowing a 24-point lead. He said, that was all for television. I did it for you guys. That was for the audience. We needed to wake people up and get them interested again. But he said, for a couple of minutes there, it was awfully hairy.
Well, and I think, he said until it got to about 3 or 4 points, I'm thinking we're going to stem the tide at some point. Give East Carolina a ton of credit for playing that hard.
Milton, too strong. High rebound, comes right back to him. The one-hander, he'll stick that one. So SMU with the 8-5 advantage. SMU really cleaned up in the conference awards, didn't they? Player of the Year, 6th Man of the Year, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, 2 second-teamers in Shake Milton and Sterling Brown. Yeah, they were all over it, as they should be.
Taylor outside the 3. Number 5 scorer in the conference, but too strong with a 2-pointer. Let's see if Shemi Ojale really starts to get involved now. That one too strong. He thought he might have been fouled while shooting a 3, as that's knocked out of play. And there was a whistle on the play. And when we come back, Doris and Shemi, part 1. Can't wait to see this. A little shoot-around action between the two. It's actually a great piece. Join us when we come back to Hartford.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most elevated SUVs ever, including the LX, GX, RX, and NX. Experience amazing.
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserves.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we'll be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier, triple-double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most thrilling models ever, including the exhilarating IS, GS, and RC Coupe. Experience amazing.
Transfer out of Duke, you were playing sparingly. Give me some sense of the lowest moment for you, Shemi. And we're going to just shoot around, and don't get scared. I'm not shooting, he is. So here you go.
For me, probably the lowest moment was, I guess, the day I transferred, really. Telling Coach K that you're going to leave is something that you don't want to do. So right after practice, I sit on the side, I told him, Coach, like, I'm leaving. And like, to this day, I'm not really sure how I did it. Because I mean, he's Coach K, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to tell that man you're leaving this program.
A man without a school. And a scary moment for somebody as young as you. Why SMU, Shemi? Why? How did you find that place?
Coach Brown. It's a Hall of Fame coach, again, that wants me to come play for him. Like, I can't pass this up. Like, it's unreal. So he came down and he just felt so genuine, like he had a real interest in me. And you know, a lot of the school were telling me like, we want you here, but I don't know, I felt like I had a connection with him.
Well, what a nice young man he is. Scholar Athlete of the Year, Player of the Year. You can see the impact he has had at SMU this season. Truly just a special, special kid. And Andy Katz, boy, Larry Brown was a big part of his choice, no question about it.
He really was, Doris. I talked to Larry this morning by phone, and he was saying, first of all, he was recruited to Duke for reasons. He's not surprised at the kind of success he's seeing from Shemi. He expected him to do that when he got here, but he did say he wanted to make sure that he could become a better rebounder, put the ball on the floor a little bit more. He said he'd never been around a player who wanted to get better so much and was basically like a sponge absorbing everything that Larry Brown was talking to him, wanted to go watch film with him. And by the way, also mentioned, as you mentioned, he said to him, "Coach, you don't got to worry about me about academics. I got it."
Well, you love to hear that, don't you? I got it, and then deliver in the classroom. And part 2 of that conversation with Doris Burke coming up a little later in our broadcast, a turnaround. And that's on target by Ojale.
So he's made a 3 and a tough turnaround. He's playing the 4 spot, which I think could probably be where he fits at the next level. And how about this? SMU gave their players a choice today. So about 3 guys showed up at what was a practice time. Nobody else came. Coach Jankovic didn't come. That kid's work habits are NBA level work habits, Shemi Ojale.
Shot clock at 7 for the Knights. Swing into the corner. That one's going to rattle in. Efiani, the 6'10" senior, 6'6" senior from Orlando, Florida. And early in the season, he was a key guy offensively. Has not been the case in the later stages.
He's battled some knee tendonitis, which anyone who's ever had it, depending on the severity, can be such a painful injury. And just putting, your foot down to plant becomes a very painful situation.
Kick out for Brown, lines up a long one. All net from three-point land.
You know what I love about both teams that will be locks for the NCAA tournament? Cincinnati and SMU, when you watch these teams play, they look connected, they look unselfish, they look committed to game plans.
Three-pointers starting to rain down here at Hartford.
I think, as you noted, if you're going to beat SMU, who really fundamentally, shrinks the floor, does a great job getting down in defensive stance and challenging shots, you're going to have to make some from distance against SMU. I would say the same thing against Cincinnati.
And not really the strength of the Knights either, only 34% as a team beyond the three-point line. They're going to have to come out of themselves a bit. Ojale has it knocked away from behind. Mad Williams with the theft. They've turned it over 4 times. SMU got off to a great start yesterday. They hit 13 out of 18. Not quite as hot early in this one. So far they are 5 for 14. Williams. And dunked in by Fall. He got up there. Well, he's already up there.
He doesn't have a long way to go, does he? Really good original contest on that shot, though, by Sterling Brown, who is absorbing the challenge of Matt Williams.
Tacos, we showed you one of the 40 tallest people in the world. I don't know who follows tall people around a tape measure to figure that out, but he's one of the 40 tallest on the planet. Brown to the lane. Downstairs, one dribble down. No block that time, and Moore made it. He also thought there was a foul on the play.
See, I think you see that a lot. The one more pass. I thought the original drive, there was obviously an opportunity for an N1 situation, but how about the unselfishness of SMU to make that extra pass?
So Tim Jankovic was telling you he actually has 2 different cards depending on what it falls on the floor.
Correct. I mean, to me, when you watch UCF, it looks like you've got to deal with 2 different teams.
The swing for Banyard, and he lights it up.
Yeah, Banyard helped them get off to a good start yesterday. This young man made plays off the efficient use of the dribble, and it does so again there.
11 points a game, his last 6. That's up from 6 points a game, so he's becoming more of an offensive factor. Nice fake, the one-hander off the window. That won't drop for Milton, but they'll get a second effort. Ojale won't wait. He can't drill the 3. Ojale, that's one of the many things he can do offensively. That three-pointer, that's a big weapon for him, 43% when he wants to take it. So this one is tightened up, a 1-point game. Taco Fall backing in. Draws the double team, and he throws it out of play.
The turnover's one issue for UCF, but they are hanging tough, and they're doing it in a couple of different ways. Taco Fall, 7'6" with over an 8-foot wingspan. If you allow him that easy a position, turn the lights out. And then Mr. Banyard with the baseline jumper. We got a game, Dave O'Brien.
Four distinct driving modes. Dynamic handling. Quicker shifts. Make every car a performance car. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, and this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
We are American. We operate from a place of power, a place where what goes up doesn't necessarily come down, where the laws of physics are thrown out the window and high off the glass. It's power that moves us forward by leaps and bounds, the kind of power that brings the house down so the house can rise up. That's power. We are power.
7:05 to go here in the first half. SMU's lead now whittled down to 1 by UCF. But we talked about how hot the Mustangs are. They've won 24 of their last 25 games, 14 in a row. You're the best record since December 2nd in Division I. And Tim Jankovich's team has been on fire.
Think about some of the mentors this guy has had. He's coached with Larry Brown, Lon Kruger, Eddie Sutton, Kevin Stallings, and Bill Self, 3-time academic All-American at Kansas State. Andy Katz, this resume is fairly impressive for Tim Jankovich.
Yeah, it really is, especially when you consider the fact that he left the head coaching job at Illinois State to be that coach in waiting under Larry Brown at SMU. Just know when it was going to happen. And yesterday after the game, a one-possession game down to the final couple of seconds there against East Carolina, he said that they needed this because they had not been able to scramble in many games of late. So, he wanted to see how his team would react. And I asked him, what'd you think of their body language when it got tight? He says, I didn't like it. They needed to make sure they responded. So now that they've had a game like that in this tournament against an East Carolina team, which has played them well in years past, let's see how they respond second time around.
It's a good teaching tool. And to me, the only concerning piece of it, let's give ECU some credit here. They made some contested NBA level threes, okay? That's first and foremost. The only concerning part for me with SMU, listen, complacency when you've got that kind of lead is normal. These guys are kids. The one thing I would say is they did not handle ECU's pressure well, Dave. I thought they threw it away too easily as they get a 3 to go there. Just inbounding, simple stuff, inbounding the basketball underneath their own hoop, which was leading to ECU layups in the comeback.
Well, they moved the ball beautifully on that basket made by Foster to take an 18-14 lead here in Hartford. Yesterday for SMU, 19 of their 28 field goals were either dunks or layups. Swished in by Williams.
Man, it's fun to watch this guy shoot. Anybody who's got 100-plus threes, and you watch a guy shoot and warm up, he doesn't miss.
He came into Hartford having taken 388 shots for the year. 279 of them were threes. As the record at his school.
So you saw what happened, right? Defense is trying to run him off the three-point line. What did he do? A little sidestep dribble into it.
Moore with a kick out. The jumper. That won't fall. Right back inside. Looking for the stuff. Meligu is denied with 5:33 to go. They move it so well, the open man.
Listen, anytime you see this team, they're going to change sides of the floor with the ball. This is what they do on the offensive end. What happens, and UCF talked about, hey, if we can keep them pinned to one side, we're going to be doing our job. They wanted to force them to make skip passes. Right now, they're not skip passes. It's full-on ball reversal.
So about 5.5 to go here in the opening half. More hands off for Milton. Milton's second team All-American Conference. Been a part of 107 wins at SMU. That's the program record. Foster with a kick. Back inside and out of play it goes. Foster lost it. Champ Week continues tonight. Following us here at ESPN2, our second semi. Number 2 Cincinnati taking on number 6 UConn. Can the Huskies do it again? Cincinnati's getting sick and tired of it because UConn's knocked them out of this tournament 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and listen, Mick Cronin spent some time with Mike Bray in the offseason. Of course, Mike has established that Notre Dame program on the strength of their offense. Mick's teams have been one of the best defensive teams in the country every year, but now he's got an offense, so look out, folks.
Ifeani with a misfire as that one will go out of play, and they'll keep it on this end. Andy?
We just popped up the bracket. I can tell you that this is the selection committee's nightmare. The fact that there's a potential to have a bid stealer playing on Sunday. Keep in mind, the selection committee wants to have that bracket ready for the selection show at about 5:30. This game may not end till 5:30. So what would have to happen, and this has happened before with this tournament, is they have to have 2 brackets ready. And if you get Central Florida UConn tomorrow, those are 2 different seeds. You can't just plug the winner in whichever seed spot, because UConn and Central Florida wouldn't have the same seed.
Taylor with a 3, and he'll knock that in. It's a great point too, Andy, because it could very well be, if that happens, that will be the last game played in the country before the selection. I mean, the very last game. So that could be a nightmare, and a foul on the baseline here with 4.5 minutes to go in the half.
And keep in mind, there are things that are occurring around the country which are influencing all of this. So URI handles Davidson today at the Atlantic 10. So that means Joe Lunardi has now moved them up into the last team in. That could potentially flip back tomorrow if they end up facing anybody other than VCU and not winning. So URI controls its own destiny. Huge expectations. They were a top 25 ranked team to start the year.
Yes, they were. In fact, they were a team that knocked off Cincinnati when just a handful of losses for the Bearcats. 18 to shoot it.
UCF goes zone, and that's what you can't do. You can't allow dribble split, and they give it up twice.
Milton's 3, a little off balance, can't connect. Melagoose straight on. That's too strong. They'll get a 3rd crack at it.
Rebounding was the key, according to Tim Jankovic, who says, let's keep the floor spaced here.
Mustangs led the American in shooting percentage and in 3-point shooting at 40%. So they know how to do that, and stuffed in by Foster.
Listen, if you're facing a team that is #1 in the conference, you've got to not turn it over one, which UCF has done some, and you can't give up that many possessions on the offensive end. It's just, SMU's too good. They're going to score if you give them that many looks.
Whistle with 3:40 to go in half number 1. The number 4 seed, UCF, sticking right with the number 1 overall seed, SMU in Hartford.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by USAA. Insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community.
Welcome to Stouffer's Fit Kitchen. Prime cuts of meat, 25 grams of protein, and savory mouth-watering sides. It's the perfect balance of delicious and nutritious, making it just the right fit for you. Stouffer's Fit Kitchen meals. This is fit.
The Range Rover Sport. Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Hand-cut tomatoes, fresh original dough. You'd expect those from a pizza family. But here's something you didn't see coming. Get a 2-topping pan or large pizza from Papa John's, just $9.99. That's right, only $9.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserve.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USAA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we will be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
Champ Week's biggest night begins tonight at 6 on ESPN.
Alongside Kara Lawson, I'm Doug Kazarian. Coming up on the Audi halftime report, more tickets punched the day before Selection Sunday, and another amazing performance by Michigan.
3 wins in 3 days. Derek Walton, tremendous, 29 points. He's leading the way for the Wolverines.
All that on the heels of what went down with their airplane on the way to D.C. All that and much more. We'll see you at the break. Back to Hartford.
And Champ Week and all its drama continues tonight. A trifecta of championship games on ESPN. The Phillips 66, Big 12 at 6, Iowa State and West Virginia. The New York Life ACC at 9, Duke and Notre Dame should be a dandy. And the Pac-12 championship presented by New York Life, capping it at 11, Oregon and Arizona. So So really looking forward to that championship game, Andy Katz, in the ACC. What do you see there with Duke and Notre Dame?
Well, I think we all have to appreciate what Notre Dame has done here, Doris and Dave. I mean, they got a chance to win 2 of the last 3 ACC tournament titles, been to multiple Elite Eights. Sometimes I think we get all wrapped up in everything that Duke has done or Carolina. Let's pause for a second and realize what Mike Brey has done with the Notre Dame program when they went to the ACC and been able to potentially be on the doorstep of winning this ACC tournament twice in the last 3 years.
You're not going to get any objection from Dave and I. We're big Mike Brey fans.
Yes.
I mean, this guy is one
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Here's what I like about the Irish this year, and I had them when they won in Brooklyn, and he's over there right now talking about Brooklyn Magic for the ACC championship.
He's done an amazing job. He's a great coach.
He is, but this is a group that's got an edge to it. So we talked about Mick Cronin spending time with Mike and talking about the offensive end of the floor. Well, all of a sudden, there's an edge on the defensive end with that Irish team that's reminiscent of a Cincinnati program.
Foster going in strong, and he'll draw the foul as he hit the deck. That was with 8 on the shot clock. I will say this, though. I know Duke had a lot of emotion wrapped up in their 3rd meeting with North Carolina. Great come-from-behind victory. Some would say, well, they're bound to lull a little bit heading into the championship game. I don't believe that for a minute. I think right now they're playing better than they have maybe all year, and Giles is the reason why.
Oh, I think you're 100% right. You were watching it last night talking about an exchange of action that happened with Harry Giles, who can be a game changer at his size with that athletic ability.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, Grayson Allen has seemed to put things behind him. Perhaps we hope so. But listen, I made a joke the first night of the ACC championship. Said, "Oh, geez, Mike's never won it as a 5 seed. Maybe they should throw in the towel at the ACC." Yeah, like Mike Krzyzewski's ever going to give you anything but competitive spirit on the sideline, and he's got maybe the hardest team to guard in the country.
Yeah, they really are. Offensively, they are a nightmare, especially the way Tatum's played. And if Giles is going to get going, he had 2 or 3 possession period of that game where he just flat dominated. Talk about way downtown. That one will not fall for Williams, but that's certainly not out of his range.
No question. I mean, he was practicing from the logo about half an hour before this game.
It's not been an offensive slugfest for these two, SMU and UCF, but tied at 21. Taylor looking to penetrate off the window, and that'll spin in.
Now, he's a natural scorer at the point guard position. One of the things Johnny Dawkins has tried to do with him is understand when to go and get your own and when not to. And obviously, look at what he can provide when he's going. 19 points per game over the last 3. You've got to utilize that. That's Kyrie Irving like from the lead guard spot.
Also an outstanding passer. And a counter. And Taylor, by the way, has scored the last 6 for UCF. This one tied at 23. See if Ogilvy starts to really get rolling now. 3 out of 6 from the field.
Ogilvy doing his best to front Taco Fall.
Shot clock at 11 for UCF. Williams lines up a 3 ball. Rebound tipped in, out of play, and SMU could not corral that.
Shimmy Ogilvy. So, okay, he's got the matchup of Fall on both sides. So what does he do? He gets right into that slot area and makes it before Taco can get out. And how about that little change of pace, change of direction, and soft off the window by B.J. Taylor.
Orlando native, he had 27 in a win over Cincinnati. So he can really fill it up.
I think that's a huge win for this program. Huge win.
Do you think that's a game changer when they can beat a team of that caliber in their conference?
So Carol Lawson was just talking about Michigan, right? And obviously a great run after a tough circumstance. John Beilein once told me, when you take over a program, the shot clock dwindling here, AJ lets it fly. When you take over a program, in your first year, if you can beat a team you're not expected to, that goes a long way. As Shimmy gets another one. David, goes a long way to, one, reinforce your message with your kids. What we have for you, the plan we have is working. So I think that Cincinnati win, huge.
Cincinnati coming up later today against UConn, a timeout in our second semifinal. Under a minute. This is a quick timeout. 26-23 SMU.
Hello? Almost didn't recognize you. Sweet new ride.
Thanks.
But you get a promotion? Wait, are you our boss now?
You're the boss. I'm gonna need more vacation days.
Oh, can I call in sick today?
Guys, I don't have that kind of power, but I can park this car with my mind.
Now you're just showing off.
Lease the first ever all-wheel drive Infiniti QX30 crossover at your local Infiniti retailer.
Shemi Ojeleye, 19 points a game, had 36 in the quarterfinals yesterday. A smooth stroke. He's been spending a lot of time shooting the ball with Doris Burke, and it's clearly paying off.
Tim Jankovic was saying there are times where we've got to pull this kid out of the gym, and he's saying, hey, I'm not getting out of the gym. I've got my routine. I'm going to go through it.
He has 10 here in the first half. UCF trying to pick off the #1 seed. Taylor going to work. He likes that shot. Not this time. And a whistle, a foul on the deck as the big fella Fall went up for the rebound. He had 11 rebounds against Memphis yesterday.
Just take a look at the shoulders of B.J. Taylor. You know, they list him at 6'2". I don't know if that's legit or not, but the shoulders of B.J. Taylor, he can take some contact now.
Meligu with a personal foul. Taylor calling for some motion. Taylor is 17 points a game scorer. Has the shot clock down to 9 now. He'll drive it again. Almost ran right into Fall there. Davis getting off the shot, but a traveling violation before that. 5.6 showing on the clock here in the first half. They've now turned it over 6 times.
Shake Milton comes back on the floor. Obviously, you want your guy who could be a playmaker with only 5.5 ticks on the ball.
And a guy who can really score it, too.
Yeah, and ideally, Dave, you're making him catch the ball sort of moving up the floor to get the best shot opportunity you can.
Milton had 27 against Houston this season, 23 against UConn. Foster to put it in. So they run a play and they fumble it away. Here's the heave by Williams. He had more time than that on the top of that backboard, and that'll do it for the first half. SMU, by the way, 24-0 when leading at halftime this season. And they are up here by a few over the Knights. Andy will be joined by Coach Jankovic in just a moment. Actually, with Coach Dawkins.
All right,
and here's Andy.
Thank you, Dave. Johnny, you're smiling, even though just down 1 possession. What do you feel really good about right now?
I was just happy about that last start we just had. I thought we did a good job of executing to close the half.
SMU played in a tight game yesterday. Tim Jankovic after that said, you know what, didn't like our body language when it got tight because we weren't used to that. How do you put them in that position to the last possession of this game in the second half?
Well, we need to hang our hat what we've done all year. That's on the defensive end. If we can keep defending and keep getting stops, that should make it a close game.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dave.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. A score at halftime. SMU 26, UCF 23 in the first of our semifinals today from Hartford. Right now, we send it back to the studio. Doug and Kara coming at you.
OB, Doris, Andy, thank you very much. This is the Audi halftime report. Let's get you caught up on action elsewhere over on ESPN. SEC semifinal. Arkansas and Vanderbilt. That's a nice camera angle there. From the jump ball. Jalen Barford, the bucket, and it's early moments. 3-0 so far. Now, the winner of that game gets the winner of the earlier game, Alabama and Kentucky. Cats as a 2 seed. We know about they've been a behemoth in recent years, but they're still a 2 seed this year despite all those struggles. Braxton Key, the rebound and putback.
Yeah, Dazon Ingram had a good look at a 3 there. Alabama was within a couple possessions the entire game. They had a terrific game plan, but they weren't able to stop this guy. De'Aaron Fox, 28 points, got to the free throw line 15 times. He flat out took over in the second half.
That was a 1-possession game with a few minutes to go. UK hangs on for the W. Alongside Kara Lawson, I am Doug Kazarian. Now, you've covered a lot of these SEC games, in particular Kentucky. What did you make of this performance today?
Not surprising that the 2 guys that they're going to have to lean on in terms of production and really aggressiveness and pace are their 2 freshmen. And that's why we've had a little bit of an up and down season, up and down by Kentucky standards,
exactly.
Right? I mean, certainly they've had a terrific season, win the SEC regular season. But those 2 players are so important. De'Aaron Fox is a point guard for the pace, and getting to the rim. And then Malik Monk for his scoring ability. We've seen time after time this season, he goes scoring in bunches, and they really need that. But to me, the difference in this game was their ability to get to the free throw line. 2-to-1 they were in terms of getting free throw attempts than Alabama was. And that was the difference in the game. That's one possession, 2 possessions. Yeah. They were able to get to the line.
And they've battled injuries. Don't sleep on that fact either. So we'll see. Maybe Coach Cal has them peaking at the right time of year. Still ahead, Champ Week always produces interesting and compelling stories. Michigan, what a week the Wolverines have had, and it's still early in the week. They still got to finish off a potential championship run.
This halftime report is presented by Audi.
This lovely lady has a typical airline credit card, so she only earns double miles on purchases she makes from that airline. Would you earn double miles on, please? Oh, it's unfortunate. There's a better option. The Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase, everywhere, every day. Not just airline purchases. Seems like a no-brainer. What's in your wallet?
Do you always put Cheez-It Grooves in your sandwich?
Of course. They're chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch.
Oh, don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal.
Cheez-It Grooves. Chips made with 100% real cheese. Dang right it's a chip.
I thought you were family. You decide who.
Asset secure.
You decide where. You decide when.
Now we're having fun!
Only you decide how your story begins and how the cartel's ends. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Available now. Rated M for mature.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with the Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
NBA Sunday Showcase. Bulls, Celtics, tomorrow on ABC.
You're watching the Audi Halftime Report.
We've got conference tourneys all day. You better hit the Big Three. It's the Big 12. West Virginia, Iowa State. Then the big ballers of the ACC. Notre Dame, Duke, and a Pac-12 finale of Oregon, Arizona. Champ Week, game on.
Big Ten semifinals from earlier, Michigan and Minnesota. What an unusual week for the Wolverines, starting with the plane crash, travel, playing in practice jerseys, and Derek Walton Jr. locked in, Kara.
Yeah, give me some of what Derek Walton has had the last 3 days. 29 points, 9 assists in this one. Unguardable. I mean, look at that. That is a great contest by Minnesota defensively, and Walt was just too much. All afternoon long, off those ball screens, man, he was getting it done.
And Gophers have been hot as well. They've won 8 of 10, but Michigan just too much. And the impressive week continues. They're on to the Big Ten title game. Walton, Kara, you mentioned it, the impressive stat line gets a hug from Coach, and that triggered a special convo with Beeline earlier.
It's been unbelievable. I picked players to ride to the airport with me when we're flying. So just happened to be Derek that day, and that was the biggest thing that stood out to me, Coach. We're going to go win this tournament. We're going to win the tournament. He wasn't thinking about we're on the bubble. No, he just was good. We're going to go win that tournament. Same way he approaches practice every day. I'm going to be the best practice player ever so I can be the best player in the game. That's exactly what he does.
Wolverines await the winner of the next semifinal. Northwestern and Wisconsin. Wildcats likely going dancing for the first time in school history. Regardless of what happens, Nigel Hayes, the 3. Badgers jump out early. So a nice opening start. 15-8 your score midway through the first. Let's go to the Atlantic 10 semifinals. URI began the day part of Joe Lunardi's first 2 out, needing a win. Hassan Martin the jam.
The biggest difference for URI has been that they're healthy, and Hassan Martin had 16 points. E.C. Matthews with 19 points. The big guns showed up for Rhode Island against Davidson, who, remember, upset the #1 seed in the A-10 tournament, Dayton, just yesterday.
The URI was red hot, 9 of 12 from downtown in the first half, and this one got lopsided. Jared Terrell, the cram. And URI, big win on the bubble. Joe Lenardi, we got some movement on that bubble, the very latest. URI is now in, USC is now out. So the Rams into the tournament pending tomorrow's A-10 championship game. If they lose, that could move them back out, and USC and Illinois State Idol could be in. All that, got it, good. All right, Ivy League tournament. For the first time in league history, a 4-team tournament. Princeton gets the bucket at the buzzer. One last chance, 5 seconds for Penn. Darnell Foreman, no dice. So we head to overtime. Tigers went undefeated in conference play, nearly eliminated in the tournament. Instead, Amir Bell, the finish, and Princeton wins by the square root of 64. Second half coming up. Semi Ojeleye has SMU up 3, the 1 seed in the American. Undefeated this year when leading at the break.
When you connect better, everything comes together. Try it free at GoToMeeting.com.
I use what's already inside me to reach my goals. So I like when my doctor told me I may reach my blood sugar and A1C goals by activating what's within me. With once weekly Trulicity. Trulicity is not insulin. It helps activate my body to do what it's supposed to do. Release its own insulin. Trulicity responds when my blood sugar rises. I take it once a week, and it works 24/7. It comes in an easy-to-use pen, and I may even lose a little weight.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable prescription medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes when used with diet and exercise. Trulicity is not insulin. It should not be the first medicine to treat diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Trulicity if you or a family member has had medullary thyroid cancer, if you've had multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Trulicity. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as itching, rash, or trouble breathing, a lump or swelling in your neck, or severe pain in your stomach area. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis, which can be fatal. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may make existing kidney problems worse.
With Trulicity, I click to activate what's within me.
If you want help improving your A1C and blood sugar numbers with a non-insulin option, click to activate your within. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Dentech knows teeth grinding can feel like 250 pounds of pressure. Stop the painful grind with Dentech Dental Guards. Dentech's snug top layer and protective bottom layer end the grind. Protect with Dentech.
This halftime report is presented by Audi.
All right, just a reminder, as soon as the brackets are released tomorrow, join us on ESPN.com/bracket, the 20th anniversary tournament challenge. Action from earlier. We have some tickets punched this morning, 11 a.m., bright and early here on the East Coast, Vermont and Albany. Now, this game came down to the wire. Final seconds, hoop and harm for Peyton Henson.
Yeah, Peyton Henson had a great game. 17 points, 4 rebounds. Look at that at Vermont. Remember, haven't lost a conference game all season long as the 1 seed playing Albany. And there's Peyton Henson again, making a big-time play, taking the charge.
Doing it on both ends of the court. But Albany, the Great Danes, come up with the steal. Down 3, still don't need one, but a nice look for David Nichols off the mark. And Vermont, to your point, Kara, has now won 21 straight, going dancing for the first time since 2012. So here are the 15 tickets punched so far. And 11 more today, another 6 tomorrow. Taco falls 7'6". UCF trying to become a bid stealer. Second half coming up. This has been the Audi Halftime Report.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier, triple-double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this?
Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check. Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
Okay, let's try.
Silence. It's good to be in good hands.
Hello?
Almost didn't recognize you. Sweet new ride.
Thanks.
But you get a promotion? Wait, are you our boss now?
You're the boss. I'm gonna need more vacation days.
Oh, can I call in sick today?
Guys, I don't have that kind of power, but I can park this car with my mind.
Now you're just showing off.
Lease the first ever all-wheel drive Infiniti QX30 crossover at your local Infiniti retailer.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
You can get this now or later. Now or later. You can get this now or later. Now or later. It's your choice. They call me the game saver. Bitch, all with the game breaker. They in my way, I'ma shake 'em. Baby.
Welcome back to Champ Week and to the Frontier Communications American Men's Championship. SMU here at the semifinal, leading UCF 26-23. The winner moving on to the championship tomorrow afternoon here in Hartford, Connecticut. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Dave O'Brien, Doris Burke, and Andy Katz. What are your thoughts on the first half? I think both coaches pretty happy.
I think so. Don't expect the pace to change. SMU, the champion of the American Conference, plays at one of the slowest paces in the country. It's about making shots for them in the second half.
Let's go to Andy with Tim.
Tim, how would you assess your team's rhythm through the first half?
Offensively, really good. I love the way we were playing. We just didn't hit the shots that maybe we normally do. I thought we got great looks. Ball movement was great, sharing it. Some of the things that we really tried to do to attack them, I thought they were doing terrific. We just had a little bit of bad luck that we didn't shoot the ball as well as we do, but I like the shots we're getting, and I hope we get the same ones in the second half.
Yesterday you said it was good for you guys to be in a tight game. How do you feel now?
Well, yeah, I don't think I really meant that. No, I'd rather not be in a tight game. I didn't mean that we should keep doing this, but I think they're playing terrific. I mean, they are on point. Every guy on their team looks confident. I thought we guarded very well. The score appears that way, but we were grinding it out, and they still scored. You know, we couldn't get away from them. So I thought they played great yesterday. Best game I've seen them all year, and I think they're awfully good today.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Well, we've talked about SMU being 24-1 since December 2nd. Well, guess what? This is a 6-game winning streak for UCF as B.J. Taylor gets them off to a tremendous start. And to Tim Jankovich's point to Andy Katz, they were 6 for 18 on catch and shoot in the first half. Some of that to do with UCF's defense, some of that to do with them missing shots. So let's see how this goes offensively for both teams.
I think you have to admire about Coach Jankovich. He is brutally honest.
Listen, all I know is Doug Collins, who's considered one of the brightest minds ever in the history of basketball, loves Tim Jankovich as a basketball coach, thinks he is absolutely tremendous. And you look at some of the mentors this guy has had, he knows what he's doing.
Brown with a pull-up shot. He'll knock it down. Sterling Brown, the 6'6 senior, averages 14 points a game. He had 16 against ECU in the quarterfinal. SMU by 2 here in the opening minutes of the second half of our first semifinal, number 2. Our second semifinal coming up after this one. That'll be UConn trying to work some more Husky magic taking on Cincinnati, that outstanding Bearcat team.
Yeah, I think they're balanced. They're well connected, obviously very well coached. And you've got two guards from Connecticut that can flat take over the ball, as BJ's got to let it fly from deep, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Rodney Purvis got them through the first round. Jalen Adams was tremendous, but against a Cincinnati team as they come into the building, one, you're going to have to be physically and mentally tough enough to rebound with Cincinnati if you're Connecticut.
Cincinnati swept the regular season meetings 2-0 against UConn, and those games were not close. So UConn's got to try something else if they're going to move on to the championship here in Hartford, one of their home buildings. Shot clock down to 13. Once again, it's Brown to knock it in.
I believe now that is 6 for 9 off plays where they've got to put it on the deck into a shot, SMU. Catch and shoot, they have not been good at all.
Sterling Brown into double figures. We expected a low-scoring game. Davis gets in strong. A.J. Davis at 6'9". He can really move, too.
Well, we know his sister Kayla Davis, who will be critical to South Carolina women's basketball, perhaps trying to unseat the University of Connecticut women.
Yes, can that be done is the grand question. As Foster with a nice touch. Actually, Ben Moore with the nice touch there to make it 30-28, 32-28.
Mr. Versatility, Ben Moore. He contributes to winning in any number of fashions.
Averaging 12 points, 8.5 rebounds a game. Davis, not this time. Just over 17 minutes to go here in the second half of semifinal number 1 in the American Conference. Moore somehow got it over Fall. That one tipped out for a second effort to Milton. Milton, a candidate for the Jerry West Award that goes to the nation's best shooting guard. Is Brown again, and a miss. Taylor quickly into the offensive end. On the baseline, Williams gives it up. The jumper, all net. Nice touch there by Banyard.
Good job staying spaced. And listen, SMU playing to the scouting report, right? They run Williams off the three-point line. Just a really good job for him to stay under control, touch the paint on the bounce, and pitch it to the shooter. Nice.
Banyard makes almost 50% of his shots. And one. Outstanding shot there by Milton in the act of getting fouled from three-point land.
Boy, just tremendous concentration by Shake Milton. Remember, a season ago, he made 52 threes. How about that concentration? You know, as a defensive player, you got to run to the other side. You got to be running across his body to where the shooting hand is.
Taylor fouled him to put him at the line, and missing on the front of the rim.
The best I ever saw do that at both the college and NBA level, the best I ever saw at challenging shots on the appropriate hand and sort of getting into the vision of the shooter, Shane Battier. The best I've ever seen.
Banyard gives it up. Long jumper won't drop for Taylor. SMU looking for a little bit of breathing room now as they come up the other end. Moore. Ogilvy, the player of the year. Tried to squirt between two defenders and he gave it up.
I think that's the next piece of the puzzle for Mr. Ogilvy. He's got to be able to, handle it with great confidence. He can handle it, but against pressure, people get up underneath him.
Banyard on the baseline, body to body with Brown, and a foul. That's going to go the other way on the offensive. So a charging foul with 15-10 to go here in the second half, and SMU with a 4-point lead.
Champ Week's biggest night begins tonight at 6 on ESPN.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most refined models ever, including the LS, LX, and ES. Experience amazing.
Ezra! Your grandson hasn't got a musical bone in his body.
I know.
I love you.
I love you too, Grandpa.
My granddaughter lives with me, so I can't lose my house.
Semtech Steel has frozen all payments.
They're stealing our pension. I want to rob that bank.
Let's go get our money back. We're going to need professional help.
You 5-0?
We're practically 8-0.
Going in style.
Albert, pick up the phone. Who died?
PG-13.
It isn't always easy to know where you stand financially. Multiple accounts, investments, insurance. It can leave you wondering how it all fits together. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you see your whole picture, find out what you truly want, and then together we design a plan to go get it. There's a confidence that comes in knowing what financial security is and doing what it takes to achieve it. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
Why do some cashback cards make earning bonus cashback so complicated? They limit where you can earn bonus cashback to a few places, and those places keep changing every few months. The Quicksilver card from Capital One doesn't do any of that. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cashback on every purchase everywhere. Leave complicated behind. What's in your wallet?
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most elevated SUVs ever, including the LX, GX, RX, and NX. Experience amazing.
Well, one of the better passers in the entire country right there, Troy Copain. And here are the tunes in the Cincinnati locker room getting ready for game number 2. Our second semifinal, the 2-seed Cincinnati against the number 6 seed, the UConn Huskies, all part of Champ Week. We go to Andy Katz right now as Cincinnati head coach Mick Cronin.
All right, thank you, Dave. All right, Mick, at this point in the season, how would you assess the way you guys are playing?
Well, we're playing still. That's a good thing. I like the way we're playing. I think we've been evolving all year. Kyle Washington, Jaron Cumberland, some new faces for us. Jacob Evans in a starring role, and then our seniors have been great all year. So I'm really happy, really confident. But hey, UConn, you know, they're in a must-win situation.
So that's been the issue for you guys. 3 straight years losing to UConn in this tournament, even though you manhandled them essentially in the regular season. How does the dynamics change when you're playing them, especially in this building?
Well, we've won here before. We won last week, so it's just a different story today, obviously. They have Jackson, and they're in a must-win situation. But we try to focus on what we need to do. You know, if we don't get pushed around, our skill level is high enough, we're going to be okay.
How much do you think this will be a true road game?
Semi. We have a lot more fans in here we would for a regular season game.
Thanks, Mick.
All right, Andy.
Well, it's an awfully good team he has, and they're going to be a heavy favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting he referenced Vance Jackson because Jackson made a play yesterday that I had not seen him make early in the year. He made a play off the bouncer. He dunked it. I thought he was a standstill spot-up shooter. Good pass.
Oh, Moore went down really hard. And you could hear that thud all over the XL Center. He is writhing in pain. Ben Moore, the 6'8" senior, just getting to his feet, and man, is that a good sign. Wow. Let's listen in. Oh, goodness.
It's the kind of thing that can give you back spasms.
I was really concerned about his head.
Yeah. He's standing at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He took a nasty hit. Ben from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Outstanding season, second team All-American Conference. The best offensive rebounder on the league's best offensive rebounding team.
Well, keep in mind that they cannot afford to lose anyone. As you say, it's exactly what I thought. That can be a lower back spasm leading to. But let's look at how heavily dependent SMU is on their starters. 87.8% of their points. The minutes per game is truly incredible. These are NCAA ranks. These are not American Conference ranks. They just do not have a deep roster at all.
Mustangs right now with a 4-point lead in semifinal number 1. And allowing Moore some additional time, although he really didn't appear to need it. Very tough kid. Champ Week continues with the SEC Championship from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville today at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. That's Vandy and Arkansas. Then the championship game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Kentucky already in to the title game. That's at 1 o'clock. Games can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN.
So the official just came over. They're upgrading that to a flagrant 1.
Wow.
Because no play on the basketball is why they made that determination. Excessive contact is the verbiage they're looking at there.
So Moore will go to the line all by himself. Flagrant 1, a personal foul deemed excessive in nature. Some examples could be causing excessive contact not on a legitimate attempt to play the ball or the player, pushing or holding a player, contact with a player making a throw in.
Yeah, you can see visible frustration there for Chad Brown. And you're in a high-low situation. Obviously, I think the concern there is it could be a dangerous play.
Yeah.
What happened was his legs were taken out, and therefore he can't get his hands down to protect.
He could have been seriously hurt.
He could have been, no question.
So it seems like the prudent call.
I agree, because, again, you have to protect players. That's first and foremost an official's job.
So a 36-31 lead for the Mustangs, the top seed.
Now, I will say I did not believe that was malicious in any way by Chad Brown.
Right. Therefore, flagrant 1. That's a traveling violation on Ogilvy. So he gives it back. That's their 8th turnover. This Knights team outstanding defensively. You've mentioned it several times, Doris, how good they are. Leading the country in fewest points allowed per possession. And much of that due to Fall's presence, of course.
How about the drive from B.J. Taylor? I really enjoy watching this young man play. This is a guy who came into this game averaging 17 points, and if you allow him to get his shoulders turned and attack the rim, I've talked about his shoulders. This guy will seek contact. You're not going to bump him off its path, Dave.
Very strongly with a three-point play, and he does.
And what I said to Johnny Dawkins today, this morning at Sugar, I said, I would assume you appreciate the fact that he wants the ball in late game situations. He said, no, but I'd rather have to dial a player back and talk about distributing, but the kid is fearless.
Brown takes a bump, hits off the window, he'll be at the line. So right back at him. And Taco Fall with the personal.
It seems to me SMU is attacking faster in the second half than they were in the first. About 25 seconds they were using, now about 19. So what they've decided is, you just touched on it, UCF's defense has been very good. Taco, I'll tell you what, send that thing back, hit him, put him on the deck, but that's not a good contest.
That's his second foul. Three-point play for Brown. And Moore getting a little more attention. I think about 8 o'clock tonight, he's not going to feel so good.
You wonder if they advance, what the impact of that could be tomorrow.
Davis over the top for Fall, but he lost the handle. Once again, he brought it down. Right to your point in the first half, Doris, that's going to hurt him. Milton, wide open. He sinks the three.
They're going much quicker. We talked about SMU. That's their largest lead. They have decided that they're going to go a little bit earlier, and Johnny Dawkins is not going to let this thing get away. He's going to use the timeout here.
Well, there's a technical foul issued right here. That's going to go, we think, on B.J. Taylor of UCF. There was a little what for there at the end as the timeout was called. 13:29 to go. It's really turning in SMU's favor, and Johnny Dawkins pretty fired up. Take a look.
Absolutely worthy of a technical foul. What's he doing there?
By using cheaper ingredients, we've made a lower cost pizza. Let's all celebrate with a slice.
I'm allergic to triangles, so...
I'm about to go swimming.
Oh, I just turned vegan.
I'm only kidding. I wouldn't make you eat that.
Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's better.
That's why all our pizzas are handmade with better ingredients.
Now get a 2-topping pan or large pizza made fresh, only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99.
We're more than a pizza company. We're a pizza family. Papa John's.
Range Rover Sport. Land Rover. Above and beyond.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass a membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
13:29 to go here in the second half. SMU has opened up a 42-34 lead. It's gotten a little bit chippy.
It has, Dave, and B.J. Taylor's got to be careful with what he's pulling in the extracurriculars. We're going to take a quick look, though, before we talk about that, of part 2 of Shemi and I and Shoot Around.
You also, Shemi, volunteer at a homeless shelter. Like, why is that important to you?
For me, I've been blessed with so much at this point, and I think what made me want to volunteer now, especially now, is that I remember when I wasn't playing and I was just going to school and I felt like I really had no purpose. I'm thinking like basketball may not work out and school is something that, you know, you have to do, but it's not my favorite thing. So I feel like I want to do something that helped me give back and have a lasting impact, which is, you know, giving back to people that have given, like, they're giving so much less than I have.
What do you think it would signify of you guys, you can help this program, after all you've been through losing Coach Brown, to advance deep into the NCAA?
It means the world to me, especially because of these guys. I've been saying it all year that I don't think I've ever been on a team like this, where every single guy just wants to win.
You're going to be all right. You work hard. You're invested in the group. That's the most important thing. What a pleasure. What a young man you are. Such a pleasure.
He's looking to score in the second half. He hasn't done that yet. Brown is at the line, so the call is a contact dead ball technical. 2 shots. They'll shoot and get the ball, SMU, as well at half court.
Well, we're going to show you something that happened earlier. See, Ben just turns around and Taylor gives him a little extracurricular there, and then this is just completely unnecessary by B.J. Taylor. This was a possession game. That's something that the young man's going to have to control. Those are 2 instances where both could have been technical foul. Super talented kid. 8-0 run now for SMU. So you better make a stop right here if you're at UCF and then go back down the other end and get a score.
And the most important moment of the game. Right now they're up by 10. SMU. And can UCF keep it together? Ojale. The bounce for Milton. Montague lost it into the corner. That one will go the other way. Now 13:09 to go. Will they keep it here? It was tipped, so they will maintain possession. Looking for an inbounds. Ojale. Shot clock down to 7. Way downtown. Barely nicking the iron. They win it back, though. Foster on the baseline. SMU nearly giving it away, and now they do. So a little bit sloppy there, but up by 10. Taylor. Off target. Big rebound there by Brown.
And see, UCF is not getting anything in transition. No easy baskets. Great discipline by SMU to get back in transition, make them play in a half court.
SMU, the top seed, 28 wins, only 4 losses all season long.
They're looking against this zone. You would like to see them get a little paint touch at some point. There it is. That's good enough.
Ojale and Fall with the block. And one of the best shot blockers in the country. That's the first shot of this half by Shemi.
And because that possession took some time, that clock was running down. And you've got Taco Fall in your grill. And that's an easy block.
Fall with a wingspan of 8 feet 2 inches. Set the single season shot blocking record at UCF. He's trying to get some position near the basket. Shot clock at 8. Here's Davis. Davis got to get a shot in the air. Off the fake, the leaner, and fouled by Foster.
I thought that was a late whistle because it was absolutely a foul. Good job by Davis to create.
Number 3 on Foster. We'll have a Champ Week update from the studio when we come back after the break. 11:43 to go in this semifinal.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience our most thrilling models ever, including the exhilarating IS, GS, and RC Coupe. Experience amazing.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with a Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
Long ago, an empire was born. Ebony, the original empire-building game that started it all. So, what became of this legendary game? Well, it just arrived on your smartphone. Ebony, download it now and play for free.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience our most refined models ever, including the LS, LX, and ES. Experience amazing.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. Semifinals of the Big Ten. It's been all Wisconsin in the first half. Nigel Hayes drawing the double, finds Ethan Happ. Whiskey Valentine, all you like. Badgers up 17 at the break. Winner of that one gets Michigan tomorrow. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Big Ten, Illinois has fired John Gross after 5 seasons. In Arkansas, up 4 at the break. Winner gets Kentucky. Back to Hartford.
Doug, thank you. We take a look at our Tournament Challenge resume brought to you by Allstate. For SMU, take a close look now. Only one quality win. That's when they beat Cincinnati. And 1-3 against the RPI top 50. Strength of schedule, not a strength.
Nope. And one team like I wouldn't want to face if I were SMU. Somebody like a Florida State. Somebody deep. Somebody who's got size. Somebody who with their depth can wear you down. We've talked about how much SMU is reliant on their starters.
E.J. Davis at the line, about a 66% foul shooter. Little hoop scoop time for you now. His father Antonio played in the NBA. Sister Kayla playing at South Carolina. She can be a deadly shooter. South Carolina, one of the favorites to go to the Final Four.
She could be the difference between winning and losing. When they win that SEC championship, she was dynamic as a scorer in the SEC championship game.
Brown penetrating and kicking. Meligo back up top here from Milton.
Yeah, we were talking about, that studio was talking about the SEC. Alabama. It's going to be scary when our colleague Avery Johnson gets 2 or 3 recruiting classes underneath him, because when he gets talent, look out, that guy can coach.
Milton had all day to shoot that triple and drained it. 43% out there, takes more attempts than anybody for the Mustangs. He has 11.
SMU walking closer to what would be a school record 29th win if they can continue to guard like they have here in the second half.
Up by 11 points. The Knights looking for a go-to. Taylor over the top and batted away, and a great save. Well, he tried to anyway. Brown on the line with 10:48 to go. Andy Katz, the NCAA tournament would be a new experience for a lot of these Mustangs, huh?
Yeah, they talked about that yesterday after their win over ECU, that people forget that. They weren't allowed to play in the postseason. Self-imposed ban at one point, and this was dating back to a recruiting issue. And so this is all a new experience, not just the NCAA tournament, but also the AAC. And that's why you can sense a little bit more hunger out of this group.
Davis with a shot clock buzzer, misfiring there. All the momentum right now for SMU. So, of course, they're going to the NCAA tournament no matter what they do here in the American tournament. But a new experience for several of these guys that they are looking forward to like you wouldn't believe. Seeking their second American championship game. Here's the jumper by Milton. That won't drop. And tapped out a play back over to the Knights.
You can see how SMU is trying to attack this zone, though. They're trying to get it into the middle piece of that, what looks like a 3-2 or a 1-2-2 matchup zone. And I thought they made the right play there. Shemi gets the catch. He can be a playmaker out of it. He pushes it for a wide open shot. They just don't make it.
Tumbling and a foul to go against SMU. As Taylor tries to bring them back to life, Moore will pick up his second. UConn getting loose and ready to take the floor in front of what we expect to be a raucous crowd against Cincinnati here in Hartford.
Well, there was a St. Patrick's Day parade here today. So I would say they've had some swing oil in them.
Is that what that's called?
That's what I call it when I'm on the golf course.
And a foul on SMU again. Sterling Brown will pick up the personal. That's number 2. 9:47 remaining. Fiani, the 6'6" senior, back on. Tank returning to the fray for the Knights as Davis will take a seat.
SMU is attached in this ballgame only because of their defense. But, you know, you wonder, can they make enough shots? I've got to give Sterling Brown a ton of credit for what he's done right here on a man who is so dangerous. He has crowded him all night long.
Taylor, too strong. Ball tipped the rebound right to Milton of the Mustangs. You're right about Matt Williams. He had 19 with 5 threes in the quarterfinal against Memphis. But we have not called his name very often today. Moore on the baseline. He took that nasty fall not long ago. Straight on, up and in by Sterling Brown. And this is the biggest lead of the day now. 18 points for Brown.
Well, let's give Brown and Milton, 2 Chicago natives, some props for their careers at SMU. They have been big-time winners. And I tell you, you talk about 2 kids willing to do whatever is necessary. I can't say enough about Brown's defense on Matt Williams. He's just in his space, not letting that three-point shooter get anywhere. And on the opposite end, ball movement, right? If you're allowing this team to change sides of the floor, it's trouble. And I've talked about this. There's an unselfish vibe, a willingness to share.
And Ball in close where he loves it. It's a basket that the Knights desperately needed to cut it to 12. And the 7'6" center with 5 points.
Does he come off the floor, or is that just a reach? I want to see his feet on that.
Easy to see them, those size 22s. You can see them from Massachusetts. Unbelievable. Nice move there on the up and in spin. Fiani, the 6'6" senior, connects.
I like that young man. I'll tell you, he comes in and plays with great energy.
He had 24 against UMass early in the season, 19 against Mississippi State, so he can fill it up. Milton. Short jumper, yes.
I tell you, he's been terrific. There was a point at which he had scored or assisted on almost half their points. Really good navigation. Look at the efficiency of Shake Milton.
13 today. Out of play and back over to SMU. So the Mustangs closing in on a championship appearance, taking on UCF in our first semifinal.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Frontier Communications, official sponsor of the American Athletic Conference.
There are way too many things on my desk.
You know, iPad Pro can replace a scanner, pad of paper, and laptop, so you can get rid of that old stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not getting rid of this.
Nobody said you had to.
Good! We're best friends!
4 distinct driving modes. Dynamic handling. Quicker shifts. Make every car a performance car. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, and this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserve.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USAA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we'll be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
My math notes are a mess since I'm half asleep.
You know, iPad Pro and Apple Pencil have revolutionized the way we take notes. And if you fell asleep,
you can even record them, just in case.
Ouch.
It's not who you pick, it's where you pick. And this top seed is a lock. The #1 bracket game in the land. ESPN Tournament Challenge. So find a group of friends, a group of coworkers, or a group of anyone you know you can beat. Then pick your sleepers, pick your Cinderella, or pick last year's top cat. Follow your bracket and get the latest tournament news from anywhere. Sign up at espn.com/bracket or download the app today.
We've got conference tourneys all day. You better hit the Big 3. It's the Big 12. West Virginia, Iowa State. Then the big ballers of the ACC. Notre Dame, Duke, and a Pac-12 finale of Oregon, Arizona. Champ Week. Game on.
Game on indeed. Chuck full of outstanding college basketball. Championship Saturday on ESPN. Iowa State trying for a third Big 12 title in 4 years. Andy Katz, Duke looking for 4 wins in 4 days. But who have they played really, Andy?
Well, here's what makes it interesting. A lot of times you'll hear people say that the regular season means more than conference tournaments. And it does, except when you knock off elite teams along the way. These are all wins that the selection committee judges individually. So if Duke were to knock off Notre Dame after beating North Carolina, after beating Louisville, that would give them 13 top 50 wins, which is a #1 type resume. And as for Oregon, if they beat Arizona, that would give them 2 wins over Arizona. And so the selection committee may look at that and potentially bump one of those 1 seeds you see on the left out for either Oregon or Duke.
Yeah, and do you think about the way Duke is playing right now, too? Does the committee look at the fact that Giles looks healthy, he's contributing, those guys off the bench who maybe early in the season were a non-factor, along with the way Kennard is shooting the ball and playing, and Grayson Allen, everybody else. Now Jefferson is healthy. I sound like I'm making a commercial for the Duke Blue Devils to be a #1, but they've got to be in that conversation.
I don't think there's any question. Nobody can boast the resume that they boast, and some of this, and this was an interesting discussion this morning, I thought, on game day, as Ogilvy gets to the paint, can't finish. Jay was almost making the point about the eye test, as it relates to teams like Syracuse.
Beautiful shot there by Banyard. They really needed that to get back to within 9.
They sure did. And basically, Jay's point was, if you're looking at Syracuse relative to some other teams that maybe aren't in Power 5 conferences, just ask yourself, who's the better team? That's the question the committee should be asking. Who is the better team? Some of this has to be about your basketball savvy.
And the selection committee likes to be right, too.
Yeah, no question.
When it comes to #1, #2. Shot clock down to 6.
Oh, by the way, Syracuse made the committee look pretty good last year.
Brown in close, spins right into the hands of Taco Fall. The Knights looking to make a run here to cut even deeper into this lead. Banyard again, but too strong this time. High rebound and hustled down by the Knights. Here's Taylor to lift. He can't stick the 3.
I didn't love either shot. I mean, you just took 2 threes with barely a pass. And excuse me, Mr. Williams, of those 109 made threes, you've not taken a shot here in the second half. Your best 3-point shooter. Now, that's a tribute to the defense of SMU, but how about one of your teammates screening for you?
Kick back. Milton has it beyond 3. Yes, all net. He is really heating up now, 16.
Do you see a drastic difference in level of possession between SMU and the last 2 for UCF?
Yeah, the quality of, no question. Milton 4 out of 9 beyond the 3-point line. And into the corner, tracked down by Amelogu. So the question now, as we approach 5.5 minutes to go in the first semifinal, have we seen the best run for UCF? Are they done for the day?
Well, look who's controlling this tempo right now. It's this team. They're just going to try. If they do this, it's going to be a block call. if SMU takes every possession and generates a quality shot, they're going to walk to the finals. That's all the rest of this 525 is about. 12-point lead, generate a good look on every possession.
55-43 SMU, the top seed. As we await our first entry into the championship game tomorrow afternoon here in Hartford. And a timeout with 5:25 to go. Still to come, Cincinnati and UConn. The Huskies are at it again. They've played their way into the semifinal as the officials go to the monitor here. And under official review, our last play. And the bump there against the body of Matt Williams, checking to see if he was shooting or not.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they were looking at that left elbow of Mr. Moore.
You want to find out if he was in the act of shooting?
Well, wow, this is an interesting one. And they are looking at the elbow. Yeah, I figured they might.
Are they looking at both things?
Yes, yeah.
55-43. Well, the UConn scenario is so intriguing because this is a home game for the Huskies, and there's no question they fed off a great crowd last night. Both head coaches said so. Kevin Ollie was raving about the crowd, and we've seen that Husky magic in tournament play so many times before. You can't discount it.
No, and if there's a relentlessly positive coach who's going to just lock in on the game in front of him, that's Kevin Ollie. And listen, you sell your team on the idea that March is our time. And I think he's done that. And you know what? They ended the regular season on a tough stretch, UConn. But the way they have bounced back and the development of guys like Vital and Vance Jackson is going to help the Connecticut Huskies be successful next year because they've got the best recruiting class in the country. I mean, I'm sorry, not in the country, but in the American Conference. And all of those kids, Jackson has developed, Enoch has developed. UConn's going to be very good next year. And we're getting an explanation from the official right now.
So you wonder if there's a flagrant involved here. Possible flagrant one. And indeed, they are going to call it a flagrant one and a double foul. So they'll be shooting a 1-and-1. And then the flagrant on the other end. So 5:25 remaining. We'll give you another look at the play here. At times it's been a pretty chippy basketball game.
It has, and I did think that Moore with this left elbow, I did think that there could be a flagrant one because he does absolutely swing that elbow.
Yeah. So we've had 2 flagrants and a technical foul today during the course of this contest. And not done yet. SMU with a 12-point lead. SMU with a 14-game winning streak and winners of 24 of the last 25. One of the hottest teams in the country without question coming in. UConn and Cincinnati awaiting the outcome of this one before they take the floor for a second semifinal coming up right here. And the championship game 3:15 on Sunday on ESPN. So Moore will be shooting. He is a 1-and-1. He's about 63% as he drops in the first one. And then to the other end in the flagrant foul. And makes the pair. But he got hit with the flagrant.
Yeah. Good call, I thought.
I agree. And it'll be Matt Williams on the other end for the technical. Excellent foul shooter at 80%. Outstanding shooter anyway. And so 2 shots here from Matt Williams. Head coach Johnny Dawkins showed him J.J. Redick highlights for an example of how effective a shooter he can be from three-point line.
Be very interesting now. He's been scoreless for 21 minutes. So sometimes for a shooter, just seeing the ball go through the net is all you need. And believe me when I tell you, this guy has the kind of game-breaking three-point shootability that can erase this deficit. 5 for 7 in the quarterfinal against Memphis as he was throwing haymakers early.
All right, so we'll see if the Knights can take advantage of this because they get the ball back as well. Taylor on the baseline. Long jumper, that won't drop, and a weak side rebound by Foster.
That's a good look. I mean, these are the shots this kid has been making his entire season.
More over the top. Tough shot underneath, and that won't drop for Ogilvy, but he draws the foul. Young man who began his career at Duke and transferred after one semester and has become a star for the Mustangs. The American Conference Player of the Year. Doris, take a shot at his full name, please.
Well, I don't want to show off, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to tell you what this means.
Oh, I didn't realize there was, by all means.
Well, the first name means a gift. The second name means, the middle name means none other like Jesus. That was Mom's interpretation of what those names are for. And actually, I named my children after basically a gift of God is Matthew's name.
Lovely. We go with Shemi, 6'7" junior from Ottawa, Kansas. The Knights trying to creep back a little bit closer. Rebound picked off by Milton.
They're just such a fundamentally sound defensive team. SMU shrinks the floor. They finish the defensive possession with a rebound. Everything you could want.
Milton looking for a big hoop here. Tied up on the play. And a whistle with 4:28 to go. And a man down as Effioni is slow to rise. Davis will pick up the foul. And that'll send Milton to the line.
I just think this kid has been absolutely terrific all afternoon. And this is a young man who came in with a big reputation to SMU and some contact on the drive.
Sophomore from Oklahoma with a miss on number 1. Milton today with 16 points, 5 assists, and he's only turned it over 1 time. He's been right in the thick of it for the Mustangs, but he can't connect on the line. On the drive, Davis, and he'll draw the foul with 4:20 to go.
Could have to be super efficient with your possessions. Run as many quick hitters as possible. This is a good outcome because the clock is not ticking and you get an opportunity for points on the board.
UCF with Taco Fall, their giant center, watching from the bench. And Davis will be at the line to shoot 2.
You're going to need, I think, a more active defender than he can be. I think you'll see this team maybe come with some pressure, start to push up a little bit.
Taco still a couple of years to go, at least on the books. He's a sophomore. The American Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Davis, nice touch there.
Now, there is the pressure coming. Now, this is something that SMU did not handle in the late game situation against East Carolina yesterday.
Milton quickly into the offensive zone.
Helps to have a one-man press break, Mr. O'Brien.
He's been that way all day, too.
Yes.
That has not given him any difficulty. Ogilvy, terrific fake with a bump off the window, no. With exactly 4 minutes to go. As he draws the foul, 59-47.
Should be a little chippy at this point in the year, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
A lot at stake. A berth in the championship game. UCF fighting for their postseason lives.
You don't want it to go too far.
Right,
a couple
correct.
of times today it's gone over the line.
No question.
Ogilvy, 12 points, 2 in this half. So he's been pretty quiet. But drops in the first. He has been money all season long. He had 26 against Tulane, 30 against Temple, 17 and 11 rebounds against Memphis. One big game after another for the American Conference Player of the Year. UCF trying to stop a string of 5 consecutive misses Can't do it there on the one-hander by Taylor.
Boy, he did the hard work. Got by Shemi Ojale, put it soft on the iron.
Break the press again. Back for Milton. Ojale will walk it back out, run a little bit of clock here, leading 61-47. Foster looking inside. Moore over the top. Ojale off his hand and out of play.
SMU in complete command, but it has been a physical, testy afternoon. Something you might expect. A little extracurriculars from B.J. Taylor. A little extracurricular from Mr. Williams all over the floor. They're playing hard.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most elevated SUVs ever, including the LX, GX, RX, and NX. Experience amazing.
Can I give it to you straight? That airline credit card you have, it could be better. It's time to shake things up. With the Capital One Venture card, you get double miles on everything you buy, not just airline purchases. Seriously, think of all the things you buy.
Great. Is this why you asked me to coffee?
Well, yeah, but also to catch up. What's in your wallet?
Do you always put Cheez-It Grooves in your sandwich?
Of course, they're chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch.
Oh, don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal.
Cheez-It Grooves, chips made with 100% real cheese. Dang right it's a chip.
Welcome to Stouffer's Fit Kitchen. Prime cuts of meat, 25 grams of protein, and savory mouth-watering sides. It's the perfect balance of delicious and nutritious, making it just the right fit for you. Stouffer's Fit Kitchen meals. This is fit.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most thrilling models ever, including the exhilarating IS, GS, and RC Coupe. Experience amazing.
Start the new campaign. Green flag, green flag.
The Verizon IndyCar Series kicks off tomorrow in St. Pete.
Go get him, go get him.
As the next wave of drivers push the limits against IndyCar's legends.
Be clear, get out there.
The countdown to the Indy 500 begins here.
Way to go, buddy. Great job, great job.
The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, tomorrow at noon Eastern on ABC.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update over on ESPN. SEC semifinals, second half underway. Arkansas in transition. Jalen Barford, the bucket. Both of these teams are already in the big dance, but Arkansas up 12. Winner gets Kentucky. Meanwhile, Richmond and VCU. If Richmond wins this game, then the A-10 becomes a bid stealer tomorrow, guys.
Doug, thank you. Sunday night, 7 o'clock at ESPN. Bracketology. Presented by Allstate. ESPN revealing the NCAA men's field of 68. Reese, Jay Williams, Jay Billis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie V, and a host of our college hoop experts. A complete breakdown of each region.
You and I will happily be sitting at home watching all of that coverage.
I will. I know you will be too. And so will most of America. SMU is already in the tournament as the number 12 overall team in the country. Knights trying to make their way back in this thing now as they cut it to 61-50. And looking for a turnover. Outstanding defensive stop there. Johnny Dawkins very happy.
Well, Andy Katz was told by Tim Jankovic they liked the pressure they felt at the end of the game because it had been a while. Now, they're going to see plenty of this from UCF as they try to make a comeback. Quick trap. Looks like he's going to get by that initial defensive player. He's trying to call timeout, but he lost possession of the ball, and that's why the official doesn't grant that.
.305 to go. I think it's been a really well officiated game. There have been 5 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and 56 seconds.
That was yesterday. Yeah, right at the end of the game, Dave. It was brutal for SMU. And that turnover leads to yet another 3. This is an 8-point game, folks. They're going to face this pressure as BJ has lit them up from 3.
Taylor with 20. Looking to break the press and a foul, and that'll go against the Knights and Nick Banyard. That's number 4 on him.
Opening a window for a team that has got some shot makers in Matt Williams and B.J. Taylor.
2:45 to go. Can the Knights close the gap here? And it'll be Brown at the line. SMU faded a bit down the stretch yesterday. They had a 24-point lead. With under a minute to go, the game was tied at 77.
That is correct. They're going to have to make some free throws. They're going to have to be really strong with the basketball and continue to get stops here.
Brown has 20. They've made 13 out of 18.
Johnny Dawkins, I think, going to use a timeout. Yes.
2:40 left. Johnny Dawkins with the timeout. We'll go away for 30 and be back. A 10-point game in our first semifinal.
Four distinct driving modes. Dynamic handling. Quicker shifts. Make every car a performance car. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, and this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
Huskies get it into Adams, full court heave. He hits! He hits! He hits! He hits! From midcourt, Jalen Adams with 0.8 of a second to go.
I'm pretty sure that Mick Cronin would argue that this should have been good even to this day, but that's been the case with UConn against Cincinnati. A heartbreaker there. And the Huskies get ready to take the floor against the Bearcats for our second semifinal. Taylor lifting a 3. That's around and out. Battle for the rebound underneath. And taken away by SMU.
You can see why Taco Fall not in the ballgame. He can't help them in these situations where they're trying to create havoc and turnovers.
SMU making their foul shots.
Got to make sure you stay spaced here if you're SMU. And a bad turnover there by Brown.
Boy, very sloppy. He's played otherwise a real solid game.
Now you just see what Tim Jankovic said to Sterling Brown. Forget about it. Forget about it. Get back and lock in on what you need to do on the defensive end.
They've turned over 13 times today.
And they changed their look defensively. Come to a little half court and put a little pressure on.
Williams airmailed it.
Wow.
Really ugly miss. Another scramble on the deck. And the possession arrow will take it to the other end of the floor. SMU has it.
Matt Williams came into this game 109 for 286, 38% from 3. And he missed that badly.
110 makes. That's a conference record for a single season. But the senior airmailing that one. He is 1 for 6 from 3-point distance today in the semifinal. Chad Brown hitting the bench now for the Knights. More pressure, Brown with it. Double up, and a reach-in foul by the Knights to stop the clock with 1:47 showing.
It's going to be a long couple of minutes because the starters for SMU, this has been the story all season. How about today? They've actually gone for 100% of the points scored. Oh my goodness, look at the minutes, the rebounds, incredible. It's the only thing you worry about in an NCAA tournament situation. One of those players gets into foul trouble. You play a team with great depth and athleticism that can come at you in waves.
And in a tournament where you have to play consecutive games, consecutive days, as they try and get their way to the championship game. Ojale with 16. Banyard swings it. Davis looking to get a shot in the air. Taylor. Banyard from the corner. He hits it a 3. Could be a big shot there for the Knights to cut it to 65-56. He has 13. Milt breaking the pressure.
He should pull this out, Ben Moore. Use clock here, and you got to start the foul, I think.
Well, you would think that start right now. Ogilvy, one of their better foul shooters, though. Milton back for Brown. Still not fouling of the Knights. Brown penetrates over the top of the slam. Foster.
Much better possession by Sterling Brown.
And they ran a lot of time. Taylor airborne. He can't connect. And this one feels like it is over. SMU on top, 67-56 with 44.9 to go. And the Mustangs closing in on a championship appearance.
Well, no backside, no 1 week rotation. And you got to help the helper. Somebody's got to drop deep to take away that lob.
Sterling Brown will go to the line, about a 79% foul shooter. He is 8th in the conference at the line and smoothly drops in the first one.
There's some credit to Johnny Dawkins, though, and the job he has done with this UCF team. 20 wins, 11-7, 4 games above 500 in conference play. 21 wins. That's a good, solid season. He'll be in the postseason. Can you get some postseason wins underneath your belt in the NIT?
22 for Sterling Brown. Way downtown, Banyard. And a timeout as he drills the three. 37.5 seconds remaining and back to a 10-point game.
It's about inbounding it cleanly, making free throws, nothing else. And if you're Johnny Dawkins, really, these are about teaching moments right now. You're just trying to manage possessions, give these guys experience.
Johnny sat on the bench next to the legendary Coach K for 10 years on the Duke sideline.
Listen, you know, we had Duke earlier, and they were talking about the most important recruits in Duke history. And you could make the case that Kyrie Irving, who went into Duke as the first one-and-done guy, or sort of got that ball rolling for Duke, and Mike Krzyzewski, because there was a time where it looked like Mike Krzyzewski was going to kind of not get involved in the one-and-done. Johnny Dawkins was the most important, right? He was the biggest recruit in their history and obviously led them to their first Final Four. And I think he's going to do a tremendous job at UCF. He is thrilled about the kind of leadership he has in both the president and the athletics director. As you know, both of those components crucial to whether or not a program can win long term.
Let me ask you about UConn and Cincinnati coming up next and how you see that contest playing out. And it's going to be in front of a really nice crowd here in Hartford.
Well, you wonder about the legs of the Connecticut Huskies. We've wondered about that before in the past. I think they have to show some physical and mental toughness to rebound the basketball with a Cincinnati team that is still one of the best defensive teams in the country and has multiple options on the offensive end.
SMU to put it in. Ogilvy and draws the foul with 34.3 to go. So the Knights fouling down the stretch here. And the Mustangs have been making their shots for the most part. And Ogilvy, one of the better foul shooters for SMU. This would be 15 straight wins for the Mustangs.
Ogilvy 6-4-6 from the line. Let's see if the color person has the same jinx. Apparently we do.
So it's not just the play-by-play guy. He was shooting much better with you when you taped your piece with him earlier today.
This kid is so impressive. You know, the care and concern he has for people beyond himself, volunteering at a homeless shelter twice a week. He only has to take one class, Dave, because he's so far ahead academically that he has the luxury of doing that.
He comes out of the pack with it. Final seconds of this semifinal. And that's it. UCF will not foul anymore. And SMU has played their way into the championship game. The Mustangs continue to run. And SMU has now won 15 consecutive games. They are into the championship of the American Conference. That'll be tomorrow afternoon on ESPN.
Well, I just love the team. They're connected on the defensive end. They don't care who takes the most shots. They've got the conference player of the year. There's an unselfish vibe. They rebound it well. They defend. They take good shots.
SMU now 29-4 and UCF at 21-11. Our final score, SMU 70, UCF 59. Into the championship game tomorrow at 3:15. We'll have that for you, of course, on ESPN. We'll be taking on the winner of UConn and Cincinnati, and we'll be back in 20 minutes for semifinal number 2, Cincinnati taking on the Huskies here in Hartford. Thanks for joining us. Right now, we send it back to the studio, Doug and Kara, and then join us for the second semifinal.